are coming from John chapter 19, verse 28. And it reads as follows. After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. I thirst. At first glance, the meaning of these words are pretty obvious. As you have heard, Jesus by now has been hanging on the cross for about 6 hours. He is in excruciating pain. He has been bleeding from his wounds. He is physically exhausted from holding himself up on the cross. His body is filling with carbon dioxide because it's so hard to breathe. And his tissues are leaking liquid, further causing more dehydration. So it makes kind of sense that he might say, I'm thirsty. But that's not exactly everything that this verse says. This verse says that in order that scripture might be fulfilled, Jesus said, I thirst. Now, I've looked in Merriam-Webster, I've looked in the Bible dictionaries, and everywhere you go, that says the same thing, that thirst means craving for some water or something to drink. And this particular verse is thought to be part of the verses that are describing the Messiah. It's coming from Psalm 69, verse 21. And in this particular verse, this is a psalm of David. And David in this psalm is suffering. And he's talking about his incredible suffering. He's talking about his sorrow. And in this psalm, he says that he is being unjustly persecuted. He's being persecuted by the enemies of God. Why? Because of his deep passion for God. And so people are mocking him. People are treating him with disrespect. So when he says, I'm hungry, they give him poison to eat. And when he says, I am thirsty, they give him sour wine. So when Jesus is on the cross, he says, I thirst. And what happens? They give him sour wine. This is thought to be Psalm 69 and this particular verse showing that he is the Messiah. This is part of what he is doing, is filling his purpose as the Messiah. However, there's a second meaning to I thirst. This second meaning to I thirst is having a strong desire to do something more, to accomplish something more. So I don't believe the scripture is just about fulfilling this belief that he is the Messiah. I don't think it's just about saying that he is the Christ. I think there's more, something more happening here. This is coming from the Gospel of John. And the reason why the Gospel of John is a little different is because John believes that Jesus is always in control. He's not being given sour wine, etc., because people are mocking and disrespecting him, because he's made a choice, right? He's made a choice to fulfill Scripture. But I don't think I thirst is just about this particular Scripture. I believe that Jesus has a thirst to accomplish more. I believe that he has a thirst to fulfill the Father's purpose. I believe he has a thirst to fulfill his messianic mission. I believe this is a soul-level thirst, a God-ordained thirst. In Luke chapter 4, Jesus makes his mission plain. As he reads the scroll of Isaiah, he says, Jesus' mission is to bring good news to the poor, proclaim that captives will be released, set the blind free, set the oppressed free. He says he did all that, but there is more for him to do. Just like you and me. We have more to do. We have a mission to accomplish. You might not be called to be crucified on a cross. You might not be called to be a martyr, but you are being called to do something. In fulfilling his mission, Jesus taught. So if you are a teacher, then I ask you to love your students, show them respect. Let your classroom be the room where they know they have hope, they have a future. Jesus healed. If you are in the medical profession, listen to your patients. Provide healing. Show that you care. Jesus redesigned lives with just a word. If you are a designer, a programmer, an engineer, create ethical applications designed to enhance, support, and help the lives of others. Jesus led. If you are a leader, lead with integrity and humility. As we already know, Jesus lobbied for the poor, the disenfranchised, those with health care needs, those whom people saw as not worthy. So if you're a politician, put the needs of those you serve ahead of your own. Help the poor, the disenfranchised. Fight for Medicare. Fight for Medicaid. And medical resources to heal the people. And if you're not a politician, you can still write to your congressperson, write to your senator. You can still send a letter to the editor. You can still support your cause. Jesus demonstrated the Father's love to those who were despised by people in power or those who were simply different. As Jesus showed love, he showed love to women, he showed love to the people of Israel, and he showed love to the Gentiles. He showed God's love. So, if you're a human, if you are just a fellow human, show love and kindness to others despite the fact that they might be different from you. Despite the fact that they might be despised by those who believe more in their power and self-proclaimed righteousness than the people in front of them. Jesus was on a mission to bring salvation to sinners. And if you are a child of God, a follower of Christ, then with love and grace, share the power of the cross. Jesus was on a mission. In Matthew 26, verse 39, in the Garden of Gethsemane, just before he was arrested, Jesus prays. He prays, "Oh, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." And then a little bit later, he prays the same prayer 2 more times. He says, "Oh, my Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me unless I drink it, your will be done." I believe that Jesus was saying on the cross to the Father that he was ready to fulfill the Father's purpose. No negotiation at this particular point in time. He was ready to complete his messianic mission. He was ready to drink from that cup. You see, Jesus knew when the Father offered him that cup, if he chose to follow God's will for his life and not his own, that there may be difficulties along the way. Along the way, there may be temptations. Along the way, there may be suffering. Along the way, you may be scoffed at. Along the way, you may weep. Along the way, you may be betrayed. And along the way, you may find your tribe. Along the way, you may find those who believe. Along the way, you may find those who trust in you. Along the way, you may find that God has done miracles through you. Along the way, you may have saved people with a word, a simple kindness, an offer of hope. Along the way, you may have given people the opportunity to drink the living water. I believe that Jesus had a deep craving, a deep desire, a thirst to fill his mission on this earth, to give us salvation, to give us hope. He was ready. And so that scripture might be fulfilled, he said, I thirst.